Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a sort of add-on to the video that I made a few days ago about the barbarian mechanics and just general stuff about barbarians. Today I'm using the March 11th version of the Vox Populi mod, 3.3.11 for any interested. And real quick, I'm just going to go over the mechanics, the basic mechanics of barbarians in the game. So first, as you should know, they spawn in the fog of war when no civilization or AI can see the tile at all, and when they do spawn, they move to the nearest city to attack it and to pillage it. They are able to heal in their camps now with the mod, and the barbarian's tech level is equal to 60% of the when 60% of the civilization's research tech, then the barbarians have it at that point. The barbarians, they also spawn special units when they have unique resources by them, such as iron or horses, where if they have iron nearby, they can spawn swordsmen, and if they have horses nearby, they can spawn horsemen. Just good to know for your strategy. And last general thing to know about them is that city-states have two quests pertaining to barbarians in the game. The Destroy Camp quest, which is to destroy a camp nearby, and killing barbarian units near or in the borders will give you points, and killing the barbarian camp will give you a lot of points, influence points. And the second city-state quest is the Invasion City-State quest, where later in the game usually there's a horde of barbarians that spawns in, and they just begin to attack the city-state, and if within 20 turns you do not save the city-state from the attacking barbarians, then it becomes a barbarian city. So those are the basic mechanic things to know, and let's get on with the video now. Alright, so for this first clip I'm going to be showing you guys how to fight and clear a barbarian camp. First of all, I'm going to show you guys a failed attempt at clearing a barbarian camp, and then after that I'm going to be showing you a successful attempt at clearing at the barbarian camp. At the end of each of those clips, I'm going to be telling you what I think I did wrong for the first clip, and then for the second clip where I actually managed to clear it, I'm going to tell you what I think I did right. So if you don't really want to watch that part, I'm going to put a little link thing at the top so that you can skip ahead and just watch what I think I did. Or if you want to watch it, I'm going to not be doing any voiceover or anything during it, so you can just watch and observe, and then you can compare what your answers were with what I said my faults were at the end. So just let's get it started. Okay, so now that you've watched the clip and that you've been able to formulate your own ideas on what I did wrong, I'm going to let you know what I think I did wrong. So first of all, I separated my units in already rough terrain. So there were plenty of forests and hills around, there was a river, and I didn't use the river to my advantage at all. And I separated my Pathfinder and my Warrior so that they couldn't give each other flanking bonuses. Huge mistake, and that led to less support and attack opportunities, so I wasn't able to attack as often as I would have liked to. Next of all, I did not use my territory to my advantage, so I was camped like right next to my territory, and I didn't move my units into it. I barely moved my units into it at all to heal, and when I did, I just completely removed them from the fight and left my warrior isolated and putting it in an even tougher position, making it more likely to die. My third big thing is I took way too long. It took me 22 turns where I could have been using my units, especially my Pathfinder, for some other purpose like exploring, getting ruins, and instead I spent 22 turns just wasting my Pathfinder at that camp and not doing anything with it. And last of all, I think my biggest mistake there that I made was I was attacking the fortified units in the camp with my warrior instead of having my Pathfinder tank any hits that the units inside of the camp could have given it, and having my warrior attack the units that were getting spawned instead. So I think that there was my biggest mistake, and that's why I wasn't able to win that barbarian camp. And that's kind of why when that hand axe appeared, I just kind of lost. All my units died, and I lost that fight against the barbarians, sadly. So that's what you don't do. And next I'm going to show you what you are supposed to do, and I'm going to show you a very good clip where I took out a camp in just a few turns with 2 warriors, so almost exactly the same setup. Alright, now that we've watched that clip, I'd like to go over what I think I did right. If you have anything to add as to what I did right, or if you think I could have improved upon doing this in any way, I'd like you to let me know, but let's get going with this. So, first of all, I think I consistently flanked the barbarian camp, which was very powerful. I would always get a flanking advantage over the barbarian. I would use the rough terrain to my own advantage. I would be attacking from the hills and from the forest, giving me a defensive bonus if they ever did decide to attack. I was aggressive at the right times, and I did not let the barbarian inside of the camp heal. I also did not attack with the warrior on the right when a hand ox was spawning, because I didn't want it to get to a low enough health where it could be taken out by the hand axe or by the barbarian inside of the camp. And I used promotions, specifically flanking promotions, to gain a little bit of an edge where I could heal, getting an edge over the barbarian in that, and also so I can get a flanking advantage over the barbarian. And last of all, I did not invest too many resources in this. It took me about 10 turns to do this, and it was just a very quick and efficient attack. Alright, now for this next and last part of the video, I'm going to be showing you guys 3 methods of dealing with barbarians. Each of these methods kind of corresponds to a different policy branch that you can choose. So the first one is going to be Sentries, which is when you're going tradition and you send out units to prevent barbarian camps from spawning. The second method is going to be expansion, where this is typically a progress approach, where your main method of dealing with barbarians is having a pretty small army, fast civilians, and you dodge the barbarians, settle cities so that they can't spawn. And the third strategy, typically an authority strategy, is farming and aggression, where you let the barbarians spawn in the fog of war and you farm them for points and experience and culture and all that. So let's get on with the first part, which is Sentries. Alright, so in this clip I'm just showing you guys how to do a tradition start and take care of barbarians in that way. So As you can see, I'm just kind of exploring my little peninsula, I think that's what it's called, and looking around for units. And I just kind of take care of them as they come. If they're weak, I just kill them. And mainly I just explore, try to find all the camps, and keep as much territory visible that turn as possible, so that way I can minimize the chance of enemy units spawning. And yeah, there's not really too much going on here. It's just me moving my units around, trying to look for camps. I found one over there, and I leave my scout healing because I think that it can withstand it, but it ends up dying because it gets flanked by barbarians, showing how important flanking bonuses are. Here you can see I'm just picking off all the extra units that are getting spawned from the camps, and that way they don't mess with my capital, because I really don't want them to, because my capital is going to become a powerhouse and I don't want its early game to get disrupted, because then it's not going to be able to snowball as well. So just taking out the archer over there, trying to get rid of all the extra units. I'm keeping a lot of sight open. I built a city up to the north, because that way I don't have to watch up there with my units. I can just have my city permanently watching over there, and it won't allow any barbarian spawns. And I let my worker get captured over here. Kind of a mistake on my part. And now I'm just showing you guys how I settled in the east and how I dealt with that barbarian camp over there. And it's actually one interesting mechanic I wanted to go over, is that when you settle and your borders reach a barbarian camp, it can actually destroy the camp, leaving the unit intact, but it makes it a lot easier to get rid of it. So you can just buy the tile or settle next to it, and you don't have to worry about expending units on it. So that's a pretty interesting thing to know, I think. Kind of good for tradition where you don't necessarily have a bunch of extra units at your disposal. Yeah, you can just see I killed the unit right there, and no more camp. Let's talk about this next clip now. So here I chose to play as the Shoshone because they really showcase what I wanted to show in this clip very well right here, where I'm using my territory to clear the barb camps and the barbarian camps, and they also just expand very fast. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of moving my units around, exploring, getting the big picture of what's going on here. Kind of looking for a place to settle. I already start building my settler very early because I just want to get that forward settle in up by that lake between the two city-states. I just keep on exploring around here, and basically what my plan is to take care of these barbarians is settle far up, block off any advances of the other civilizations with my territory, and then just kind of backfill with my cities and take care of barbs as they're a problem to me. Yeah, so right now I'm still just kind of exploring around. I take out the ruins and I try to take care of any barbarians that could be a threat to my settler, and I have to accompany my settler here because I don't quite yet have the policy that gives me fast movements for my civilian units, so I can't really send it out alone just yet. However, with that policy I am able to do that. I don't totally get to use that to the full extent that I could have, because I just didn't get culture fast enough for how I was expanding. And so you can see here I'm just kind of moving up. I'm ignoring the barbarian camp because it's not an issue to me right now. I don't have any units at my capital for it to bother, no civilians, and it can't really bother my settler because my settler is being accompanied by my warrior. Right, so that archer right there is not really a problem. I'm just taking it out with my city because I don't have any units over there to defend with, but I also don't have any units for it to be a threat to, so again, I don't really care about that. Here I'm just looking for a city spot to settle, so I can get the most of the resources and also possibly have a good defensive spot against Montezuma. Don't really find one, so I just end up settling over there in the jungle. So now that I want to settle more out, I want to settle another city in between my two cities that are far apart. I do send my settler out alone because I'm confident that there's no camps over there, and if I did, it would be able to move away. And now I'm just kind of starting to take care of these camps because I do want to settle in here, and I'm going to post sentries in here so that way the barbarians can't bother my units. And right there with the foundation of that city, they're not going to be able to spawn anywhere near that, so that clears up a lot of area that I don't have to explore. And then basically with the elimination of that camp, that's the last of the barbarians I have to worry about, unless if I get some fog of war in here again. So that's how you take care of barbarians as a Liberty Civ. Right, let's talk about this next clip, okay? So right now I'm playing as Attila, and he's very much an aggressive Civ, so I felt that was a very good reason to choose him for an authority game. One of the parts of his unique ability is a 75% chance of capturing barbarians from inside of the camps when you capture the camps. So I had to keep that in mind as I was playing, and to capitalize on that, what I did is I built a bunch of military units very early on so that I could get the units and therefore the culture from authority, and then I would go find the camps and try to kill any isolated units coming out from them. And my best way of finding those camps was to leave a lot of the fog of war left uncleared, as you can see that I'm doing right now. However, that didn't really work, and a lot of, for some reason, camps weren't really spawning very much, so I had to make do with what I had. So you can see right here, there's a barbarian attacking my capital. I find that I actually had a pretty interesting way of dealing with it, as you'll see in a second. So what I do is I enforce a zone of control on it, basically, so that it can't run away. I just thought it was a pretty neat little tactic that I had on it. So I enforce the zone of control, I get authority, and then I kill it for culture. And then there's that archer at the west side of my capital. I don't really have to deal with that just yet because I don't have any units inside of my capital, just like I didn't really have to worry about it for progress right at the beginning. However, I do end up taking care of it because of the culture benefits that I would get. So now I'm moving on to this camp down here, and I try to farm the units from it. However, William's being a douche and not letting me move. Yeah, so right now I'm just building a bunch of units, getting ready to take over the barbarian camps. And once I'm done with those barbarian camps, because I am trying to get the unit benefits from them as well, so I'm trying to get those extra units, I do decide to build up an army and declare war on a civilization nearby, because at that point farming barbarians is not going to be nearly as useful as declaring war on a civilization would be, because I'd just get so many more benefits from declaring war on a civilization. However, I'm not at that point yet, so I do just continue to farm the camps a little bit. As you can see it right here with this camp especially, I let a unit spawn and I take care of it, and then soon after my archer and warrior get to a pretty low health, so I decided it's not really worth it to keep on farming that camp, and I instead decide to just kill it overall and steal the units. Alright, there I get that extra unit from the camp, and then now I have a pretty sizable army. I have quite a bit of units that I got for free, and I, from there on, just move down and attack Askia and kill him, basically. So that's what you can do with authority, and I think that was actually one of my more powerful starts in authority that I've had in a very long time. So congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. I hope you guys liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't like this. Comment below as to what you liked about this video, what you didn't like, the stuff you agree with and the stuff you don't agree with. And please subscribe too. I worked really hard on this video, and I hope that you guys like it, and I plan on making more content in the future like this. So peace out guys, see you later.